The Canon R8 is going to be the best-selling camera for beginners in 2023. In this video, we'll be talking about the absence of the mechanical shutter on the R8, and we'll also discuss the electronically controlled shutter that the R8 has. I've made a few videos about the R8 and why I believe it will be the best-selling camera for entry-level creators. I've gotten a lot of questions in the comments in those previous videos about the lack of those pro features. I've done my best to stay consistent and to remind everyone that the Canon R8 is not a pro-level camera. Unless you're a professional photographer or videographer, the lack of these missing pro features should really not be a concern. If you are concerned with the Canon R8 and the lack of these pro features, then the Canon R8 isn't for you. And I encourage you to look at the R6 if you still want the full frame, or take a look at the R7 if you want to stay within the same price point. About all of the questions, I want to take a second to invite all of you to continue asking these questions and leave them down in the comments below. At the moment, I'm answering any and all questions regarding these cameras and regarding any of the L series lenses or the STM lenses. It's been a real pleasure to talk to all of you through the comments, and I hope to be able to help you make a purchasing decision. This hobby is not cheap, and I want you all to make the best informed decision with your hard-earned money. In this video, we'll be talking about the absence of the mechanical shutter on the R8. And we'll also discuss the electronically controlled focal plane shutter, the electronic first curtain, and the electronic shutter on this camera. I hope talking about this will help you decide when choosing the right camera for your needs. So let's dive in. Let's talk about the differences between what is a mechanical shutter and what is an electronic shutter. We will start off with the mechanical shutter. A mechanical shutter offers better flash sync, which is essential when you're using external flashes at higher shutter speeds. They prevent rolling shutter distortion, which can occur when shooting fast-moving subjects or panning quickly. They provide more accurate exposure and color reproduction by physically blocking light from the sensor. However, mechanical shutters do come with some drawbacks. It's mechanical, so there's more moving pieces within the camera, meaning that after your camera gets to a certain age or with time, there can be possibly wear and tear on the camera, which will require replacing or require fixing, neither of which is cheap. They usually have slower continuous shooting speeds compared to the electronic shutter because it's a mechanical movement. And they're usually a little bit slower when it comes to continuous shooting because of the mechanical movement. Now, moving on to electronic shutters. Electronic shutters also have their own sets of benefits, and they also have their own sets of disadvantages. Some of the advantages are that they are virtually silent, making them perfect for discrete shootings in quiet environments. They also enable you for faster continuous shooting speeds since they don't require physical movement. They have no moving parts, and they are less prone to wear and tear. Now, some of the disadvantages of an electronic shutter over a mechanical shutter. Electronic shutters can produce the rolling shutter distortion in certain shooting scenarios. They generally have limited flash synchronization capabilities, and they may produce artifacts at lower image quality in low light or high dynamic range situations. I had difficulty syncing an external flash when I was still in all electronic mode, and I noticed that my flash wasn't syncing, so half of the picture would be light and then half of the other picture would be very, very dark because of the sudden flash. Now, let's talk about the specific shutter features on the Canon R8. Keep in mind that the Canon R8 does not have a mechanical shutter, which is a desirable feature for pro-level photographers that use external flash and that would like to use their camera for fast-moving subjects. For sports, you're probably going to be all right. Where you will have difficulty is with vehicles, fast-moving cars, or fast-moving animals and wildlife. Now, let's talk about the specific shutter features on the Canon R8. The Canon R8 has an electronically controlled focal plane shutter. This type of shutter is electronically controlled, providing precise timing and reduces the risk of mechanical wear and tear on the shutter. The R8 shutter mechanism utilizes an electronic first curtain shutter, which helps minimize vibrations and noise during the exposure, making it almost silent. Please note that the camera may still produce some sound other than the shutter release sound, such as the aperture adjustment, the lens focus drive, or beeps of the camera, depending on how you have your settings. Moreover, using long exposure noise reduction with the shutter speeds of 1 second or longer involves a mechanical second curtain shutter, which produces a mechanical sound. It's the I don't even know if that's what that sounds like, but I can imagine it. Also, be aware that when shooting under fluorescent lighting or flickering light sources with the camera set to electronic shutter, there might be bands of light and they may be displayed on your image. You'll see the lights because you can't see to the naked eye fluorescent lights actually flicker, but the camera can catch it. So the choice between a mechanical and an electronic shutter really depends on your shooting style, what you're shooting, the subjects, and your priorities. Mechanical shutters are great for better flash sync and image quality, while electronic shutters provide silent operation and faster continuous shooting. The Canon R8, although lacking a mechanical shutter, offers electronically controlled shutter features that cater to the needs of entry-level creators. Although the Canon R8 lacks a mechanical shutter, it offers a really advanced electronically controlled shutter that caters to the needs of entry-level creators. Like I was saying at the very beginning, unless you're a professional photographer, I don't think that the lack of a mechanical shutter should be your purchasing decision on this camera. I think that if you purchase the Canon R8 and you are serious about learning this craft, that you will probably outgrow the Canon R8 and its capabilities within a year. You're going to be wanting some more professional features. If you think you're going to fall into this category of quickly outgrowing your R8, I would skip the R8 altogether and save up some money and go all the way up to the Canon R6, which coincidentally has both mechanical and electronic shooting modes. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more photography tips and tricks. Also, I'd really like to meet you guys on social media, so make sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms where I post daily images, videos, and short form content. And in the description of those videos, I typically put the Canon that I used and the lens that I used to make that photograph or that video. I do that so that people can get an idea of what kind of equipment was used to create that photo or that video. Please guys, if you have any questions regarding the R8 or anything in the Canon lineup or photography in general, please leave them down in the comments below. At the moment, I'm answering any and all questions related to photography and getting you started so that you can make the best purchasing decision for yourself. All right, if you guys made it all the way to the end, thank you very much. Make sure to leave a comment down below letting me know that you're a real one. I really appreciate all of you guys staying all the way to the end. I usually reserve the last couple of minutes of this video to give you some updates or to send a little bit of a message to all of the real ones sticking all the way to the end. This week, I just wanted to share a little bit of positivity and some hope and some good vibes I wanted to send out to the universe and out your way. I had a goal in the month of March to reach 500 subscribers on my small channel and also to reach 2,000 watch hours. I met that goal and I exceeded it. My next goal for April is monetization. So I'm looking to get 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. It's an incredibly ambitious goal, but making these YouTube videos over the past couple of months has been absolutely fulfilling to me, and I have to admit that it's probably the most satisfying feeling that I've had with anything to do with social media. You know, Instagram and TikTok and Facebook are all fine and dandy, but the engagement that I have with you guys and the subscribers and everybody leaving comments down below, has been incredibly humbling, and I just want to take a moment to say thank you, and I appreciate every single one of you. Please let me know if you guys have any specific questions. I'm happy to talk to you and happy to walk through any of the problems that you may be facing in regards to photography and getting your business started up. I still do this part-time, and I hope that one day I can do all this kind of creative work full-time. So I'm just like you guys. I have a full-time job. I only have time on the weekends to explore my creativity. So I'm right there with you, and I just want to say thank you. So with that, adios.